Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video and welcome to episode 7 of my Arduino tutorials. In today's video, we'll be talking about variables. If you're interested in that, you're in the right place. More specifically, we'll be talking about integers, strings, and floats. So if you're interested in that, you're in the right place, like I said. Anyways, without much further ado, I'll see you guys in the video. Open your Arduino software, that's the Arduino ID, right here. And make sure your Arduino is connected. Alright. You come here and then you select it to make sure it's connected. And with the variables we're learning about, the first data type we'll be learning about is the integer. What an integer refers to is your normal regular numbers, just the regular numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Those numbers are integers. And the first data type we'll be learning about is for integers. When you are setting up a variable, you have to put it above the void setup. That the variables don't go within the void setup or loop. It's actually outside of it. Weird, right? So you put in the first one there. To use an integer or to set up an integer, use int, small letters, leave a space, and there are 3 parts to setting up the integer variable. And the first part is the data type, that's int, to let you know it's an integer. The second part is that's the variable itself. I'll explain what in a bit. And the variable I'm going to set this would be called my number. Let me just set my num. And then you put an equal to, and then you put the value you want to store in this variable. Okay, let me explain the variable before we move on. A variable is basically something like a container which is storing your information. You just think of it like that. It's just like a container, and the label for the container is integer or storing numbers in it. So my num is storing, let me put the number 5. We have 5 in my num. Let's set another one int my num2. Let's just set it up like that. Equal to, and let's put 10 in the second one. So now we have my num, which is 5, and my num2, which is 10. Now in the void setup, remember in the last video we spoke about the serial monitor. I'll set it up using the serial.begin open bracket the baud rate. Let me just put it to 9600. Don't forget a semicolon at the end. Go into the void loop, serial.print. That's to print a certain piece of information to the serial monitor. And remember, if you want the cursor to move to the next line after printing, if you don't want it to just continue printing horizontally, you have to use the serial.print ln and into brackets. What do I want it to print? Let me make it print my num. That's the variable. Alright, now that I'm done, I'll just upload my code. Alright. Serial monitor. And yep, it's printing. It keeps printing 5. And remember, 5 is the value that is being stored in this variable, my num. My num is like a container, and that's what is containing a variable 5. And I'll show you the importance of the variable. I'll show you in a bit. It's actually really useful, and I'll encourage you to use variables rather than just placing certain, rather than just putting 5 in like that. It's better to use a variable, especially if you were writing really long code, because you might want to change something. And imagine I had code, give me a sec, let me just copy this and paste and paste and paste. All right, so imagine I had this and all of them, my num in all of them was 5. Imagine it was 5. So we had 5 in all of this, and then I wanted to change it. Maybe I wanted to print 15 rather than 5. I have to come and change each one individually, and if it was really long code, it would take a really long time. But if once I have a variable, I wouldn't even need, let me just select about Give me a second. If it's my num and I wanted to change it, I wouldn't even need to now go through it. I just come up here to my num. Wait, what is this? Did I mess up? My num. Okay. I just come up here to my num where it's 5 and I change 5 to 15. And just like that, all of them change to 15. So then I don't really need to worry myself. So it's really useful using variables. But this is just for integers. You can also perform operations using this. Let me show you guys something. If I wanted to perform certain operations, I'd come here, my num, put a plus, my num plus my num 2, and upload. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, it expected. Never mind. I think I deleted this curly bracket. So upload. Let's check the serial monitor. What result are we getting? Let me scroll down. 25. So it adds my num to my num 10. My num is 15, my num 2 is 10. It adds both of them and it prints it here. And click on this so it keeps scrolling down for me. And it keeps adding it and printing that to the serial monitor. So that's about integers. We've learned about that right now. The next data type we'll be learning about for variables is the string. The string, it's nothing too complicated. So to use the string data type, we'd type it out, string. And what would we like to store a string into? Let me just make it something like message. Let me just set it as MSG for message, just a shorter form. And in message, we want to send something like, let me put in hi, what am I commanding? Hi world. Keep using hi world, but okay. So we have hi world, and we don't forget to end it with a semicolon. So MSG hi world, we've already set up a serial monitor. And in here, we'd want it to print the message. We're not going to put in hi world, but we're going to put in message because hi world is being stored in MSG here. This is a variable. So we put in a variable MSG and we upload. All right, done. Open our serial monitor. And it keeps printing hi world. That's what's contained in MSG. So yeah, that's it about string. Let's see if we can combine strings. Let's make another string, MSG2. That's our second message, equal to. And don't forget, I forgot to emphasize on this again. When you are writing your string, always remember to put in the quotation marks. If I don't put in the quotation marks, let's see if it will work. Let me take this out. If I don't, without the quotation mark, let's see if it works. Hi, the compilation error, hi was not declared in this scope. So it's not declared. If you want to use strings, even though you've put this here already, I'd suggest, even though you've put the string there already, I suggest putting it in quotation marks. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. And for string, you don't even always need to create the variable this way, because anytime you put any word in quotation marks, it recognizes it as a string. But it's advisable to use variables because it makes it easier when you're writing longer codes. Anyways, so then if I wanted to change it to hello world rather than hi world, I just put hello world. And even if I had a longer code, it would still change all of them, each line to hello world. I wouldn't have to go through it individually, one by one, to try and change that. So it's way simpler. Now let's see if we can add the two letters together using variables MSG2. Let me say something like welcome to the game. All right, so welcome to the game. That would be our second message. And let me see if we can add them. MSG2. So adding MSG to MSG2. So it's supposed to say hello world. And let's see if it would add welcome to the game to that. Oh, it expected a semicolon. Don't forget about it. Don't forget the semicolon. Don't forget that. It's very important. Okay, come on. All right, it adds it. So you can add two strings together. Don't forget that. We can add a string to another string. Let's see if we can add a string to an integer. So int something like mine. Let me just make a num equal to 10. And let's see num. Let's upload, see if we can add those two together. Or it's done uploading. Hello world 10. So we can add strings to integers. So you've seen these two and you've seen how they both work. If I wanted it to print hello world, leave a space and then print the 10. If I wanted there to be a space between hello world and the 10, I'd have to do it this way. Let me show you something. Select this and just copy it and paste. Paste. And in here, we let me take out the number. So it just prints hello world and it goes down here. Remember, wait, this one will make it move down. All right. So this serial prints it on the same line, on one line. Doesn't move to a different line after printing. It doesn't move to a different line after printing. So it prints hello world, and on the same line, it's going to print whatever I put there before moving to the next line because of the ln. The print ln makes it move to the next line after printing whatever is put here. So it prints hello world, and I wanted to print a space on that same line. To do that, I'll put the quotation marks and then create that space within the quotation mark. So it prints whatever is in the quotation mark. That's the space. Recognizes it as a string. I go down and let me make it print the number 10. That was just num, right? So num. So over here it prints the hello world. It comes on the same line. It also prints the space and it moves to the next line. I don't want it to move to the next line, so let me take the ln out. And then so on the same line, after making the space, it also prints 10. Then it moves to the next line because of this ln, and then it restarts again. So it prints everything on the same line, and once it gets here, it moves to the next line after printing the 10 and just continue the whole. Let me just show you. So now you're going to make a space after it's done uploading. Alright, it's done. So this one's without space, and now now there is a space in between the hello world and the 10. And after it prints the 10, it moves to the next line, and keeps up, restarts and keeps looping because of the while loop. Alright, so now we've learned about the string and the integer and some cool things you could do with them. Now the next one we're going to learn about is the float. That's what we use for decimals. So to let me make the variable something like deci. Bring an equal to, and let me make it 3.14, something like pi. Alright, 3.14. Let me just even change that to pi. So 3.14. And we've already set this up. Let me change this to pi. You already know how it generally works, so then it just prints out pi for us, right? Prints out pi. Just see that. It prints out at 3.14. Wait, what the heck is it? Oh, I didn't make it serial.println. So it's printing everything on the same line. With this, to be moving to the next line every time it prints. Hope you guys understand how the serial monitor works. It's done uploading. And now it moves downwards, yes, so then it keeps printing 3.14, 3.14. We can perform other operations with that, but for floats, that's just for decimals. What if I made a float and just made it an integer? Let's see what will happen. It makes it a decimal, so it becomes 3.00. You see, so then you can make it in any way you want. If you prefer it this way, you just make everything a float. If you prefer it, if I made an integer and then tried to use that for a float, let me see what happens. Okay, it just prints the whole number. It ignores what you've even put in, then just prints 3. So if just make sure you're using the right data type, whether it's an integer, a string, or a float. Otherwise, you might obtain inaccurate values, especially if you are reading from a sensor. That would be very important when you are using sensors, because you want the exact value. You want, if it's to a certain decimal point, you'd want to use a float rather than an integer. Otherwise, that would just make it an integer. The integer data type will make the value you are obtaining an integer, even though it's supposed to be a decimal. It just ignores the decimal. So then you don't get the exact value, but something close, you know. So make sure you use the right data type so you can get accurate values. I think that will be all for this video. Thank you for watching up to this point. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.